Oh, okay. Here is my update. I told you that I was going to tell you about what was going on with Kickstarter, and it happened last Friday, this past Friday. And they always send me emails, as I say, and as to how the campaign is going. And on Friday, they sent an email, and I looked at it, and it says, you've got 18 days left, only 1% of your campaign goal has been reached. And so, how Kickstarter works is it's an all or nothing kind of thing. If you raise the amount of money that you originally wanted to go after, then you get it all. But if you don't raise the money, then you don't get none of it. And then they flag your account or your campaign as unsuccessful. And when I was first researching it, I saw a lot of people's campaigns on there that had been a few years ago, and they were still posted there, and the whole unsuccessful thing is there. And of course, my ego flared up when I'm looking at you've only 1% of your 250,000 that you're wanting to raise, and then knowing that they're going to flag it as unsuccessful. And so again, my ego got all into it and everything. And so over the weekend, I had to just, again, just work through it all. I'm not going to lie. I had to literally work through it because I saw it as being unsuccessful. People are going to my name is associated with it. You were unsuccessful, blah, 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 blah. And even though I know, okay, you're talking about 18, 16 days out, I know that spirit can turn things around in a day, and all of it can happen. But nonetheless, I had to really, this is what I call the emotional side of success. This shit is real. So when I was thinking about it, I'm trying to work through it, and I hear my son saying, "Mom, you have to fall in love with the process." And this was 3 years ago when he first started telling me this. And when he said it, I was like, because I'm not into, I knew that at that point in time, it meant patience and faith. And faith, I'm good with. Patience, yeah, that is not my strong suit. And even though I know that my hastiness and me not waiting for things or being patient enough has cost me dearly, I still just, that whole patience thing. But think of what it is. Patience and faith work hand in hand with each other. So a few months after he had said that, I'm trying to work through this, fall in love with the process whole thing. And it's not working. So I'm meditating at that time. And all of a sudden, my divine ally says, not only do you have to fall in love with the process, you have to stop lusting after the end goal. Meditation was over. And I was like, oh my God, clutch my pearls. That was terrible. I had to stop lusting after the end goal. And when that came back to my mind this weekend, I started saying, you know what? Success is subjective. It really is. And we're the only ones that can determine whether we are successful or not. Nobody else can do that for us. And I just want everybody to know that just because, success is not always monetary or tangible. We gauge it by that, but it's not that always. So this process, and I say that because this process, to me, I have been very successful because of what I have learned. And this process has taught me to be more definitive about definitive and clear about what the work that Elohim has appointed me to do, my ministry, okay? And no matter what you have been called to do, it is still your ministry. Doesn't mean you're in a church. It just means that that's what you have been called to do to purpose. And so I saw that as being successful, that I am becoming more clear. And with the help of my niece, I am also getting more comfortable with my branding message. And she was like, especially on social media, and she was like, "Aunt Penny, you have all the pieces that you need. You just don't know how to use them. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock, I don't. Not on social media. So, but I am trying to, by watching her work, help me through this, I am trying to have a better relationship with social media. So for me, whatever the outcome is, I have been successful. And somebody might say, well, you didn't raise the money. Okay, well, that doesn't mean anything. How do it could show up somewhere else in another form. So, I just have to say that the most significant success that I am having is, in fact, learning to enjoy or fall in love with the process of the journey. And I am beginning to realize that all of the stresses that I might be going through are just simply in response to me being disoriented in the light of this new journey that is unknown to me. And so that is my one of my friends called it joyous stress. And I love that, because at the end of the day, even sometimes when as like this past weekend, when I had to really counsel myself, speak truth to fear, because that's what I do at the Learning Spa and with the work of giving myself permission. We speak truth to fear. And that's what I had to come back and begin to look at. Like, for instance, I had to reemphasize this to myself, is that success is not one or even two-dimensional. It is multidimensional, and we don't know how it's going to show up. Just because we've set, a particular picture in our head that this is how it's going to be, doesn't mean that that's how the universe has it. So, and again, only we can define the meaning and the value of success. Nobody else can do that for us, because what it looks like on the surface in this physical realm is not at all what is going on in the spiritual realm. And so we have to remember that. I think I told you guys this before, that I have a quote that hangs in my office that says, and this was one of the times that I was in meditation, and my spirit guides shared this with me. Your goals are being taken care of behind the scene, where premature action cannot harm them. And they went on to say that there's other things that have to happen before and be in place before I can proceed. And so coming back to that and remembering those types of things is what helps me speak truth to fear and allows me to manage the emotional side of this success, or this journey called success. So I just want to share with you, whatever your appointed role or ministry may be, you have been selected by Elohim. You are here on purpose, for purpose. Elohim sees you. He knows your strengths. He knows them all, exactly what you're capable of. And he is equally aware of where they can be best applied, how they can be applied, for what they're going to be applied, or what they're going to be applied for, and to whom. The universe has all of that. We see and know in parts. So to be able to step back and allow my sacred expressive life force to lead and guide me and bring me comfort when necessary is this learning. That's the success that I am gaining. So, but Elohim cannot work. The universe cannot come alongside and help us without first our own consent. We have to give our sacred expressive life force permission to live its truth. And so there's one thing that I think you have to realize that the universe is not deceived by whatever we're doing. Now, while we may not think that we're capable or that we're successful, the universe, Elohim, knows exactly what our strengths are and what we're capable of doing. And so I just want to encourage you. One of the things that I say at the end of my podcast, straight vibes, no chasers. I always say at the end of every one of them, we are never the victim of life. We are always a student of purpose. So we have to ask ourselves, what skill, what higher consciousness are we learning? What message or task are we being prepared for? So think about that. Ashe.